As you can see here, the roots are looking quite healthy. The room here is getting really hot inside, so we have put some cooling inside the container. I am going to give you an update today of the aeroponics system, the mushroom setup, and I think we're also going to go through the production so you can see what's happening here on Sundays. Basically, we started growing herbs, basil and parsley. If you saw the last videos we did on the aeroponics system, we started this up with the idea that we wanted to deliver herbs. We had a customer lined up who were ready to buy everything from this system and sell it to the restaurant. So we have basically sold everything out that is inside the system. However, we have found some huge issues with this. So today I'm gonna give you a full tour about what aeroponics has been, how the journey has been for us, and how we perceive aeroponics, and how, if we want to work with it, how we want it to work, because there is definitely things that you can improve, and if aeroponic is not delivered in the right setup, then the system will not work. And that's what we found. We found that this system works not as good as we hoped, because you can see here, this is the new basil that we repotted and replanted inside. The roots are looking good, they're looking healthy. However, it's very important that the plug with the herb that you have here in the corners, it's really difficult from some of these boxes to provide the right vapor and the right water content. So we are going to have some issues with this system. As you can see here, you have like a whole line of basil that's dead, and because it didn't get any water, so it's completely dried out, and that's a shame. And we hope that we could work much easier with this system. However, we found that it's so important that you maintain the electricity, you maintain the climate, and you maintain the setup so it doesn't dry out. And with this system, with this setup, we put the plugs in it, very wet plugs, and put them as far down as we could so that they don't put too much vapor in the air. But we still couldn't get the full plates to be cultivated equally. I can show you this over here. So we're gonna walk a little over here, because this is the way that the basil looks and the parsley looks in this system, and we don't have good experience with it. Yeah, so what is gonna happen is we talked with our customer who is buying everything we have every third week. And they were completely okay with that. They can understand that we can't get the system to work, and they want really good, nice looking products. So we came to the conclusion that we are gonna take this down again. That's too bad, but that's how it is sometimes. Sometimes you invest your time and your money in something and it doesn't work. And you don't know that until you found that it doesn't work. So this whole container is going to be refitted with lion's mane mushrooms. That's the idea. So we're going to grow lion's mane mushrooms in here. We have the 2 containers with the oyster mushrooms, and I think we can go and have a look after you saw the results of this. As you can see here, some of the roots are really taking in, but you still get these plugs completely dried out. And that's just a shame. You can't work with that. You can't count on it, because if you promise your customer something, then you have to deliver on it. Because if you don't, then you are gonna get a reputation that you can't be trusted. And that's something that we don't want at our company, and that's why we started the communication with our customer, and they understood that we can't get it to work. As you can see here, we have the 3 containers lined up. All the air from the production we are funneling inside the containers. The system here, we have the aeroponics system. We are growing the oyster mushrooms inside this container, and then we're growing the oyster mushrooms inside this container as well. This is where all the mushroom started, as you saw in the older videos we made. So if you are interested in learning how to grow oyster mushrooms, yeah, check out our older videos, because we have a full masterclass on how you can grow the mushrooms and get decent yields out of straw and coffee. So basically that's what we're growing with. So we started growing lion's mane here. As you can see, they started fruiting as well. And we are really excited about this mushroom because it's very interesting. I think a lot of our customers would find this very intriguing to work with. But we found some issues with the lion's mane already, that we need to separate the lion's mane and the oyster mushrooms because we are having a too high humidity inside this room here. We don't change the humidity up and down, we keep it at a steady level. And that's really, really good for the oyster mushrooms. They like this climate and they like to come out in it. But the lion's mane mushrooms, as you can see here, they started molding when they get a little too humid. So we are going to refit the first container you saw to growing only lion's mane. We have been testing some pupino, some nameko, some chestnut mushrooms, and some turkey tail, and some maitake as well. We would like to work with 3, maybe 4 mushrooms at our facility here, because then we are able to make a mix box, so we can provide 3 different kinds of mushrooms and then a mix box as well, because we know our customers like to have a box mixed so they can use some mushrooms and use them together how they like. We have been testing different kinds of mushrooms, and what we found is that the pupino, the chestnut, and the nameko is really slow to colonize. On the internet it says that it will colonize within 2-3 weeks. We found that it have fully colonized after 1.5 to 2 months. So that's a huge difference. And we don't have the space right now for growing species like that we need to colonize for longer periods of time. Just like shiitake, it takes 2 months as well, and the maitake, it also takes 2 months to colonize. So we like to work with mushrooms that we can colonize fairly quickly, and then also get the mushroom out quickly and possibly also get a second flush, like we do with the oyster mushrooms. So that's how we work with them. And as you can see here, we're doing the basic humidity control. It's just 2 humidifiers and a fan. And then we fitted it so the water is automatically just keeping on filling up. You need to have a fan on it, because if you don't have a fan, the humidity just stays inside the container. So this is the way that we control the humidity in here. We have humid air that is hot and heated up, coming down all the way in the container and releasing air and oxygenated air, so we can really give the mushrooms some nice climate in here. So we found that if you have too low airflow, then you will get the mushrooms looking a bit more like this. And if you try to just fill up your container or your grow space with mushrooms, it just makes the whole room filled with CO2. And if you are not able to get that CO2 out, then you are going to encounter mushrooms growing like this. I think we still need to inject some more air in the container here. So it's basically just something that we are working on as well. Of course, I will update you when we found the right solution, so you always have the right answer, or not the right answer, but our answer to a problem that we found a solution for. So yeah, basically this is how it's growing. Soon we are going to build the container, do lion's mane completely in there, and I am very excited to see how that's gonna work out.